Hello everyone, my name is Hector/Teon. First and foremost, I would like to thank King Klast for allowing me the opportunity to give you a brief history of the Turbans. The original Turbans were created in the late 50s and 60s in the Bronx. The name the Turbans, it is rumored to have been taken or borrowed from a singing doo-wop group of the time called the Turbans. In the early 70s, a division or second part was created in the Sunset Park area of Brooklyn. The president was Perez/Priest and Vice President Donna. The colors of the Brooklyn Turbans consisted of a bearded man with a turban on his head, which was painted on a dress vest. The letters were gold or yellow on a black background. The young Turbans' colors consisted of the same as the older Turbans, only their jacket was a lee jacket which was dyed and with the same basic colors as the older Turbans. Later in the mid-70s, the Turbans and young Turbans merged with another neighboring gang or club called the Brooklyn Saints. I can recall as a boy, I witnessed a rumble between the Turbans and another neighboring gang or club called the Brooklyn Brothers, whose leader was Crazy George. The rumble began at 4th Avenue and ended at 43rd Street, which was the old precinct, 72nd precinct, which happened to be the Brooklyn Brothers clubhouse at the time. As time went on, the Turbans would have rumbles with other neighboring gangs, and they also had confrontations with the homicides, which were from Brooklyn. There was also the Young Turbans, whose president was Superfly. Other members were Manny T, or Manny Model, Tall Benji, Hollywood, Martin, Ace, and Indio. As a boy, I was not permitted to be a young Turban simply because I was not of age. You had to be at least 15 years old to be a young Turban. Eventually in time, I became a member, but about that time I was put away and I was no longer living in Sunset Park. Years later when I returned, there was no longer any young Turbans or Turbans. They were all now Turban Saints, and they were dressing outlaw. All in all, it was a most tragic time in which many inner city youth found themselves during the gang explosion of the 1970s. In the end, many of these gang leaders and gang members found themselves doing long prison terms. Eventually, I disassociated myself from the gang life or gang banging and dedicated my life to other things. This was just a brief history of the life of the Turbans in Sunset Park, Brooklyn during the early 1970s. In loving memory of all the Turbans and young Turbans who are no longer with us, starting with Eddie Perez, Dolly, Lefty, Little Lefty, Chino, Indio, Eddie Boy, Little Ed, and many, many others.